Wazazi, songeni karibu. Leo ni siku yetu. It's the day for parents. Leo ni Parents Day. So pull your seat next to the TV or next to the radio. If you're listening to me en route to work, ongeza sauti kwa radio. We have an interesting conversation we want to talk about today. Today we want to talk about helping our children to develop healthy habits. We get to hang out with a clinical nutritionist, Alice Njeri. Alice, how are you doing?
I am doing very well. Thank you so much, Mr. Okun. And I'm glad to be here.
Okay.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah. I was just thinking, you look the part, you look healthy. You know, if you're a clinical nutritionist, now you need to help yourself first. We may doubt what you're saying.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but you look the part. It's good to have you in studio today.
Thank you. I appreciate.
One of the things I thought of when we put this together is an experience I've seen young parents in church struggle with.
Okay.
Sleeping patterns.
All right.
Yes, sleeping patterns. How and when do we start to teach our children? Because you will find some parents will tell you their children, it's like they're not on any pattern. Wataamka saile wataamka na watalala saile wataamka, watalala. So is this something that you train your children from an early age?
Yes, it is something you should train them. And what, as a parent, you should concentrate on doing is telling your children when to sleep, because sometimes we allow them watch TV so much, especially now this generation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, our times we didn't have the phone to play games with, so when it was time to sleep, you just slept.
Yeah.
But right now you have to train them, because they can watch the whole night and not even sleep.
Yes.
So you have, if it's 9, they have to sleep. And for children over 8 hours, they should sleep. Yes.
So at what point do you begin this training?
When they can understand. You see, there are those that they cannot understand because maybe this the age of breastfeeding, those ones that wake up, they have waking up patterns to breastfeed, and they are very young. But once they know, these ones that are holding the phone, you train them. Even sometimes you can teach them to sleep during the day, at least for an hour, an hour, 2 hours, and then you train them at 3. Within no time, they will learn at 3 I'm supposed to take a nap.
Yes.
You see, there are those classes, the beginners, the teachers teach them that after lunch they are supposed to sleep.
Yes.
And once you put them to sleep, they will sleep. Why not at home if they can sleep in school? Yeah, of course, they miss you as mommy and daddy when you're telling them. And they know the teacher will pinch or beat them. Or but you have to teach them, and because mostly they're in school now, make sure by 9 children are asleep. Yeah.
You know, the reason I'm asking that is also because we had a very interesting conversation with some friends.
Yes.
And there are parents who, from the time the children are born, they start putting them on a sleeping pattern. And so it is time to sleep. Whether mtoto yuko na usingizi ama yuko na usingizi, anawekwa kwa kitanda. And sometimes the children will cry themselves to sleep. So there are those who are saying that is being cruel and that is being harsh to the child. And there are those on this other end who are saying, no, you have to start training them from an early age. At earlier for a few days. But once it registers, then they know it's time to sleep and they sleep. I don't know what your thoughts on that are.
That's very good, actually. It's good to train them when they're very young. You don't have really to let them cry themselves to sleep, but yes, teach them in a good way. You see, there is an age you'll know, they'll understand this. Teach them in a language that they will understand, because when you're sleeping, even yourself as an adult, your body is resting, and that's when they grow. That's when they develop. So if you're not sleeping enough, even as an adult, sometimes you get fatigued. Sometimes you have a very confusing day. Now you can imagine a child being fatigued. You'll think they're sick, but you need to teach them. You can put them, like at the age of 1 year, already you can teach them the pattern. But maybe less than a year, it's a bit hard, but still you can teach them. You can, maybe, let's say you're breastfeeding and you want them to sleep at this hour, sometimes even you can go to sleep with them, so that they know, this time when I'm put to bed, I'm supposed to sleep. You see how Western people do, not this Western in Kenya, but wazungus.
Nilikuwa nimefurahi mimi ni wa Western.
I knew
now
that.
You're busting my bubble.
No, I mean, Wazungu, some of them teach their children at an early age. At 8 p.m. is story time. They read them a story and they know they're supposed to sleep.
After the story is sleeping.
For you, take the gadget
and
tell them now it's time to sleep. And with time they will learn. And once it registers, even when you're with them and you're watching, exactly at that time, they'll just fall asleep. You see, even if you want to graft a tree, you don't graft it when it is already giving fruits. You graft it when it is growing down there. So you have to train them when they're very young. The same way you take them to Sunday school when they're very young. Because that's when they grow. When you're sleeping, you develop.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it possible to teach your children healthy habits if you yourself as a parent are not practicing healthy habits?
No, it is very hard. If they know you like sleeping on the seat, on the couch, they will start sleeping there because they think that's the right thing to do. If they see you drink in the house, they will want to know this soda that you're drinking in the house. You see, children have a habit of copying. Have you seen young children? They say, "Mom, I need this," or "Dad, I need sweet." They'll ask you once, and they'll trust you bring it.
Yes.
Because they trust you. The same way we are taught to trust God.
Yeah.
So the same way, if they see you, your habit is watching, they also want to watch. It's only that they will not watch news like you're watching news. They want to watch cartoon. And some of them will even say, "Ata dadi you watch." So they'll do what you're teaching them to do.
So even before we start thinking about how to teach our children healthy habits, we have to look at ourselves first.
And set a good example.
Yes. Nutrition is big in this generation because we have so many options. You know, when we were growing up, the options were not as many, especially where junk food is concerned.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and access. I mean, nowadays you can just make a phone call.
Oh, yes.
You can go to the app and within the hour it's in your house.
Yes.
You can walk to a supermarket and buy a cooked meal. Sisi tulikuwa lazima uende nyumbani upike.
Yes.
Yeah. So
unaamka asubuhi unakula ugali na chai. Yeah, but nowadays no.
My question would be, do we as parents, when I say we, I mean the majority, do we really know what's good for our children nutritionally? Because there are so many trends that we try and follow.
Not really. Most of the parents think because the child has refused to eat something, if they say they want Indomie, you give them Indomie and tomato sauce. If they say, "I want chips," you just give them chips. You think it's love, but you're not doing justice to the body of this child. You see how their body is reacting is not the way as we were. Like now, if you look at it from nutrition point of view, there are girls nowadays who will start having their periods at the age of 9. Some of us started at 16.
Yes.
Some started at 15. There is a very big difference between what we used to eat and what they are eating now.
Oh, so are you saying it's based on nutrition?
Yeah, it's...
nutrition affects?
Yes. It has its role to play in it, because we didn't have all these processed food. Sometimes your mom, you've told me you come from Western. For you, maybe you knew fish. For you, you knew nyoyo is for taking tea in the morning. For me, githeri is a meal. Was and is a meal.
Still is.
And I will still, and I will enjoy taking supper. But for breakfast now, I don't know.
You should be friends with my wife. She preaches. She's tried to preach that gospel for 26 years. We just keep looking.
It's only that you don't know the secret. It's the best food with fiber. You take githeri and tell me how your body will act in the morning. Even your bowel movement is very good.
We call it kokoto.
You're insulting our food, but
I'm sorry. But I hear what you're saying.
Yes, because it has high fiber. But if your children, you have to teach your children. There's a way you can make food and make it palatable, like attractive to children. You don't have, you know, Indomie, spaghetti is wheat. Wheat has something called gluten.
Yes.
And then you keep telling me, when you come to me, you tell me your child is so big. There are people, there's a parent who came to me, we give an example, we don't name names, and told me their child has a lot of weight. And you know, when you're approaching teenage, they start looking at themselves.
Yes,
They are seeing
self-image.
models on TV.
With this Instagram generation,
yeah, and TikTok, they don't want to be big. They'll start having low self-esteem.
Yeah.
So you give a diet. There are parents who are marvelous. When I give the diet, the picture for before and after, she keeps showing it off, because even the boy looked darker, but now he's light and he looks good.
Wow.
And the mom is proud. I think in 2 months we had shed off 9 kilos.
What?
Yeah, 9 kgs. You just need to know what you're giving your children. Not every, I see parents, and sometimes I feel so bad. Every day they pass through bakery because the child has asked for cookies, they have asked for cake, they have asked. Remember, this cake is sugar and carbohydrate, and then it has cream, which is sugar again, added sugar, and then it has wheat itself. So sometimes it's us thinking we are giving love to our children who are not doing justice to them in matters nutrition. And you know, the reason why some of us are short, it's not because you're meant to be short. You got stunted. It is called stunting when you're young.
Oh, really?
Because you lacked something. Yeah.
Oh,
if you're
really?
not malnourished, like you're underweight, it's either you are stunted because maybe you lacked some nutrients.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When you're stunting
young.
is now short. There are people who are naturally short, but there are people who got stunted. You see how we see people like children in Turkana, because they only expect this food that is given by well-wishers, government, NGOs, like those people. You see how malnourished sometimes they can be.
Yes.
That affects your afterlife also. So from conception, that's where life starts. So nutrition starts from there. So also whatever you are eating may affect.
As you carry this child.
Nowadays, if you look at our children, they have diabetes, some of them.
Yes.
Unless we didn't know the name, there were no many children with diabetes, but now they are. And we can't say it's gestational, like when you're pregnant, because that's for a parent. Sometimes it's what we eat. You see, all this processed food. Go to, everybody want to eat these flours that look white.
Yes.
When we are given for kisiagi, and that's where now I appreciate Luyas. Luyas will, if you give them this white flour, they'll tell you that's not food. They want to go to kisiagi. You see, when they go to kisiagi, they don't remove anything. They have all the fiber, they have the oil in that thing in the maize. But for you, you went for this other one. And the sugar, you see, that's why sometimes it spikes sugar in your body. That's why we have a pancreas that produces hormones that brings it down. That's why we are normal. But sometimes you're introducing our children. Imagine you take that kind of ugali, then you take rice, you give them spaghetti, then on Sunday you're buying them chips, and that chicken that is coated with breadcrumbs, there is cake. You see, the kind of food we have access to is not bad, but it is not right for a developing child. They can take it here and there once in a while, but you don't have to give them every day. Yeah.
I think we sometimes, in Shida, middle class, we are trying to overcompensate because we grew up, and those are things that we would never see. Yeah. Me, I remember growing up, our staple food was ugali and skuma. That's what we grew up on. And look at how we look today, Buanas.
Amen.
And so we feel like we missed out on the chips, and we missed out on this fast foods because they are not readily available. It would take an arm and a leg for our parents to be able to buy it for us, and we felt like we were deprived. Now that we are the parents and we have a bit of means, we feel like, let me give my children what my parents did not give me. And in the process of doing that, we have no idea what we are doing to our children.
Right. I'm one of those who says, when I get children, I'll give them what I didn't have.
Yes.
For sure we say that. And we think it's fashionable. It's good to give them what you didn't have. Remember, nowadays you're blessed.
Yeah.
You have a car.
Yeah.
You drop them to church. They are dropped to school. How many kilometers did you walk?
Hey.
Without shoes.
Yes.
When you're going to school.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes it's us who are affecting them. Like now, I when I'm teaching mothers, I tell them there are nutrients you cannot deny a child.
Okay.
They are must. Like B vitamins, you need, okay, all the vitamins, yes, you need all of them, but there are those key. You see vitamin C, apart from healing, it has healing, what do I call it? Like, let's say when you have a wound, and like this one, this is collagen fiber. When it heals, also it prevents you from flus. When you have cold, sometimes you'll hear someone like me, a nutritionist, I will not tell you to go buy cold cap fast. I will not tell you to take cetirizine or Piriton fast, those antihistamines.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a doctor. What I'll tell you to go for is oranges.
Oranges, yes.
It's as simple as that. Sometimes imagine some cases, some conditions, you just need lifestyle. Why do we call diabetes, hypertension a lifestyle disease? It's because it's brought by the way or caused by the way we live.
Okay.
So what I tell mothers, you cannot cook for a child potatoes and bananas. You cannot do the two. But that's what people do when they are weaning a child. That's like cooking a big ugali and another soft ugali.
Hii ndio mboga.
Moja ni mboga, ingine
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Make sense, yeah.
And then some think when you do marenge and spinach that you've fed a child, hizo ni mboga mbili.
Oh, really?
Do you know pumpkin is a vegetable, but people don't know?
Oh.
Why do you want to treat pumpkin as carbohydrate, yet you don't treat courgette as a carbohydrate? They're in the same class. Look at it that way, you will understand.
Yes.
So when you're taking pumpkin soup or butternut soup, that's a vegetable soup. But parents don't know that. Make sure all these macronutrients, which is, macro is the big one that you need in large amounts, and that is carbohydrates for energy. Remember, these children have a lot of, and they have and they use a lot of energy than you. Than an elderly person. So you have to give them carbohydrates for energy. You have to give them protein for growth and regeneration and renewal of the body, and then you have to give them vitamins. If you deny them iron, how will blood production happen? And then how will the circulation of that blood happen? You have to give iron. You have to give folate. That's why I'm telling you they need these things.
Yes.
Because when a girl is getting to the age of having periods, that's a person, if she messes up, she becomes a mother. So you need folate.
Yes.
You need potassium to make sure that the rhythm of the heart is happening very well. Unless you have a problem with your kidney, that's the only time I'll tell you not to take a lot of potassium. And that is when I'll tell you, don't take beetroot, don't take avocado, don't take a lot of potatoes, don't take a lot of bananas, green bananas, because they have a lot of potassium. But when the child is growing, they need these things unless they have that condition.
Okay.
You need all the vitamins B, you need vitamin A. If you are not given, I'm not saying me and you are not given vitamin A, but you need it for your eyesight. Yes, because like in carrots, you find them in broccolis, but you know children don't like it. Sometimes I say, if they cannot take it because they don't want to see it, can they take meat with soup? Blend the broccoli. They will not know. You don't have to cook it kabisa. You just steam it, you blend it, put it in food. Sometimes you push it down their throat without them knowing, and the food will look so attractive. It's us who don't know how to do it. Sometimes some children will cry themselves to sleep because you said no to Indomie. Some will cry because you said no to spaghetti and tomato sauce. But for you to make it palatable, when they cannot take vegetable, blend it and put it in the stew. They will not know, but they'll have taken the nutrients.
Yes.
Yes.
You can do a blender. be kind to yourself and be kind to your children. We are talking about helping our children to develop healthy habits on the Parenting Tuesday conversation this morning. Before we get back to that conversation, I need to remind you something. Are you a MasterCard holder? If you're a MasterCard holder, there's a great opportunity for you, whether you're planning a solo vacation or one with your spouse or with your family, you have an opportunity to see a different world with MasterCard and Kenya Airways. Whether you're planning to take your spouse to South Africa to enjoy the beaches of South Africa, or whether you're planning to take her to see the Great Wall of China. My friend, pengine Great Wall ile aliona tu ile kitambo. Unakumbuka kale kared kalikuwa hapo kwa all unit. Wachana na hiyo. We are talking about the real thing here. Maybe you want to take her to see the Great Wall of China. There's an opportunity for you. What am I talking about? Now, you need to log on to www.kenya-airways.com, pay with your MasterCard, and get to enjoy up to 15% off. Yes, the opportunity is here. This month, beginning the 1st until the 30th of June 2023, you have like 1.5 weeks to go, my friend. And you can redeem your booking all the way until the 30th of December 2023. But there are 2 blackout periods on the 24th and the 25th of December. Usingoje, leo, log on www.kenya-airways.com. Check out all the routes that have this offer. By the way, this offer is for one-way trip, return journey, multi-city journey. And check this out, all Kenya Airways destinations with a direct flight have this offer. So check out, pay with your MasterCard. Remember to use the promo MasterCard. And remember, MasterCard is the safe and convenient way to pay. Terms and conditions apply. Usiache hiyo 15%, up to 15% discount ipote. Hiyo ni yako. If you're a MasterCard holder, take advantage of that. This morning, we're hanging out with a clinical nutritionist, Alice Njeri, in studio with us today, helping children develop healthy habits. Let's talk a bit about physical activity, exercise. Our children today, because of the kind of lifestyle we live, back from what you said earlier, asubuhi either tunamdrop shule ama anachukuliwa na school bus. Even if the school is just here. Chukuliwa na school bus, they come back home, they sit down, they do their homework, they're on the gadget. Yeah, they're on the gadget the whole evening. Oh, yes. Weekends hawataki kutoka nje. Yeah, they're just on the gadget. How do we change that?
That's where we said, in a good way, with a lot of love, you take away those gadgets. Sometimes you just have to give them that tough love. Yeah. Because it has made children, this Generation Z, that at times you can try talking to them, and the questions they're asking you, none of us would ask that question when we were their age. Yeah. This is something maybe they have even been taught in school, in Sunday school, but they're asking you a question and you ask yourself, really? I'm not talking about the really small ones, because those ones are they like exploring. Yeah. But I think sometimes you just have to keep the gadget. You agree. You tell them, now we agree. After school, no gadget. Yeah. You can even, as long as it's not homework, because COVID time is when they were doing online classes. Yes. I think weekdays you can take them away. Let them play like other normal kids. Yeah. By the way, I think our do I call it upbringing was very different from the way we are bringing our children now. I only got a phone which I was sharing with my sister after I had finished high school. Nowadays, we are buying them even when they're in class 5. Yeah. And once they come home, they are chatting. Yeah. Do you know what they are talking about? We have no idea. They have, what do you call it? This, not Instagram, TikTok accounts. Yeah. Do you know what they are recording? Sometimes it's good. That's why sometimes even it leads to safety, security. Yeah. Because sometimes they're even recording themselves in the house. Yeah. And explaining where they are innocent. So do you know what they are doing with those gadgets? If it's not reading, if it is not anything they were doing Google, then you can take them away during the week. Because honestly, you cannot have this child come from school after homework, they're on the gadget. Yeah. They're not even thinking. Yeah. You cannot have them on Saturday, they can't go out to play. You have to agree as parents. Sit down, sometimes agree with them. If they don't want to agree, you take them away. Yeah, there are those who will agree. You will only have this gadget for these hours on these days. Maybe on Sundays, maybe on Saturdays, but only, honestly, weekdays. Why do they need them?
No, yeah.
That's why they are sleeping at 1. You know, when you're sleeping, even the body is able to convert food that you have eaten. The body goes to rest. And that is when, even when you're older, you're regenerating. So when do you generate? When do your brain grow? They need to sleep. For weekdays, I would say, let them not have them. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Somebody may give the reason or the excuse that when we were growing up, we had a lot of open spaces for us to play.
Yes.
You know, we would play football, we would play shake, we would play tapo. I mean, all sorts of. We were all out there. But nowadays, even the space for children to play is very limited. Every other space has been grabbed. Apartments everywhere, concrete city.
Yes.
So somebody may use that as an excuse and say, kids have nowhere to play. What would you tell them?
Do you know when we talked about innocence in children?
Yes.
Where can't, if a child come here and another one from wherever, say even Uganda, come here, they'll play.
They'll play. They'll find a way. They'll
let's
play.
not give an excuse of space. Where you are is where you belong, and that is where God has placed you. And He cannot place you in a place where children cannot play. Even in the house, they play. Then buy them those games. Let them play those games. They interact with each other, but with gadget, they're not even interacting. And that's why it's sad that sometimes you hear a parent telling me their children try to kill themselves. It's so sad because they think it's a fashion even now because of what they are watching. Threatening a parent, I'll kill myself. They think it's a good thing. Yes. My parent will give me this if I tell them I'll kill myself. And you know, they don't know when you're trying that, you will die and you will never come back. So they try this as a threat to the parent, but they don't have an understanding beyond that. A story is given of a man who always wanted to fly a plane. And he read until where he was flying. And then when he was up, he remembered how to go down is in the other book.
Whoa,
he did not read the other book. So what happens when you kill yourself to threaten your parents? You don't come back. So I would rather these gadgets, if you must give them, know what they are watching. Yes.
Interesting question here. I have a child whose mother tells us that the doctor said the child should never eat cabbage or cereals or any sort. Of any sort, no beans, peas, or any vegetable stew of any kind. At first she said the doctor said meat must be served with every meal. And then now she says he changed to white meat only. Are we being played?
Well,
it seems like she's living with somebody's child, and the mother of that child gave these instructions. Mtoto, daktari alisema. Hizi vitu wasikule.
Unless there is a condition, like a lifestyle disease whereby you see white meat only, or someone has kidney issues where you need to control protein from, you know, plant proteins produce ureas, and you know that one, of course, itasumbua mtoto. But now, somehow it sounds creepy, but doctor said must serve meat every meal. I doubt. No.
And now it's changed to white meat only.
It could be white meat, but you cannot say every meal. Yes. It could be, if you're eating white meat, if you're eating meat, it has to be white.
Yes.
But not every meal.
Not every meal.
Every meal, including breakfast. Or just school. I would like to know.
Maybe she should take that child herself.
Oh, yes.
To a nutritionist
and then they get to understand. It could be the child has a condition, and maybe that's why they are told to eat white meat, because I can see no beans, no peas. I know those ones have gases. Any vegetable stew of any kind, no. I don't think anyone will tell you not to eat any vegetable. Because we've just talked about vegetables.
There's something you mentioned with the gadgets, and I thought there's also the whole issue of mental and emotional well-being. A lot of issues are creeping up today on mental health issues. So how do we begin from an early age to teach our children good habits when it comes to their mental health?
Teach them to talk to you. Like teach your children to be your friend. Because sometimes parents throw the gadgets to the children because they don't have time.
Yeah.
They have lost time with children, whereby you will even see that child is stressed. And you know, there are children who naturally, like me, I never used to deal very well with rejection. So there is a child who will not deal very well with rejection. For us, when you went home and you're crying because sijui who is not talking to you, or you fought, or you're beaten. So you had to grow the hard way. But nowadays, talk to that child, because you see that mental wellness nowadays is paramount. It's next to nutrition. It's health. You see, when they are thinking, like in high school, you have experienced cases where parents will come and tell you, my child tried to kill themselves, or the teachers will call them. Maybe they're using drugs and they overdosed them. Maybe they went and mixed some substances in the lab and they took them simply because they are disturbed. Also, as parents, do you argue in front of your children? Some of them, like boys, they'll feel so bad about you because they'll protect their mother. Whether you are whether it's the mother on the wrong, they know you wronged the mother. Then the girls the other way around. They will protect their father. My mother does not respect my father. And sometimes you'll find some practicing to speak to others like that. Or they go to school and you see that child is so down. Because nowadays, you know, us, we didn't know what divorce was. You hear a child very young, Mom, are you divorcing my dad? And they are very young. What are you doing to this child? Sometimes they are developing it from home. Sometimes they develop it from school. Also, teachers need to watch the words they say. You know, when we were growing, there are teachers who would openly tell you, you will be a nobody. I don't know why some teachers, some would do that. Don't tell a child that. Even if they are failing. I don't know if you've read the book of Ben Carson. Gifted Hands. How he used to get zeros, and then he go home and the mother tells him, you've done well. Today, he's known to be one of the best surgeons. He was, so encourage your child. Sometimes it's because they fail and the teacher is not happy, and also maybe the way the teacher is handling the matter. If this child is stressed in school, and you come also, you're stressing them. Yes, we say as a parent, beat then rub. Not really beating physically, like tell them this is not good. I liked when I was in university, and the first time my mom told me this is not a good start. But I had to work from there, and when I was graduating I had honors. Why? Because I worked my way up. Teach them to work their way up. If they become second last, tell them at least there was one person behind you. The next time there will be 3 people behind that person. Also that one, encourage them. So they'll keep doing well. Even if they become last and all the parents are encouraging them, you might find they have very good grades. They are getting disturbed from home or school or from friends. Because nowadays they know how to use toxic words. And if you tell a child, this person is not good for you, they feel no one else will be a good friend to me like that person. But maybe this person is toxic, and they tell them these words, you're dumb, you're what, and then they'll carry that. And as children carry things, and then they start being disturbed, and now you give them gadgets, they'll still watch movies where others are being stressed. They have started getting boyfriends, and they break up, and they're in class 3. So you wonder, it affects their mental health.
There's one thing I need you to mention, and we have a minute. You know, we've talked about all this sugar and what. We can't talk about all those that sugar and not mention something about oral health. How do we teach our children to have good, healthy habits where their oral health is concerned?
Okay, teach them to brush 3 times, especially weekends, because they are home. But in school, because they will not remember, they can gargle water, and then they eat sugar. You let them go to sleep. You know the work of our tonsils. It's like putting an army kwa border. where there is a border between Kenya, Somalia, Kenya, whatever,
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
for them to protect or
Yes.
to defend our
Yes.
country. The same way with our tonsils. Do you know why they swell? Because sometimes they are trying to defend the dirt that the child is taking in.
From going
Sometimes they are
inside.
not washing their hands. Some suck their fingers. Some will just take something and eat. Some will not even brush. So the tonsils will keep swelling,
Okay.
trying to defend. They're
Yeah.
defenders. They swell when they sense. And then also when you take a lot of sugar, if they don't get a sugar rush, then they'll have a sore
Sore
throat.
throat.
So it's good for them to brush every night when they are going to sleep. And then there's that vitamin that comes into our mouth in the morning. Sometimes, of course, you take breakfast, then you brush, because it's important. I was taught by my professor it's important to take breakfast before you brush. But the people who shower and then they brush,
Like
then
me.
they go take breakfast.
Yeah.
No, you should do the other way
For
around.
me, it's interesting. It's so automatic. It doesn't matter what time I shower. It's just in my brain. After I shower, the first thing I do is brush my teeth.
Then you take your breakfast.
Then I come to work. Breakfast is after.
Oh, that's okay for
Yeah.
you. Now for the child, because you force them to take breakfast before they go to school, let them brush after breakfast. And also it's very good they brush in the morning and in the evening.
Okay.
Every time, even if they forgot to brush in the morning,
Yeah.
make sure before they sleep.
They brush.
It should be a habit.
Alice, thank you very much for coming. Kuna mtu alikuwa amekutumia shout out hapa akasema they call you mom or something. Yeah. Pass greetings to Alice Njeri. I call her mom. I'm sure she'll know who that is. We come from the same village too. Brother James from Imara Daima. Brother James, thank you for your message.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
We will need to call you back again. We have a lot to talk about when nutrition is
Yes.
concerned. See watoto tu hata watu wazima.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
okay. Any
Yes.
nutrition, I'm ready.
Awesome.
Yes.
My friend, our time is up. Wazazi, tumefunga clinic ya wazazi leo, but before we go, I need to remind you, if you are a MasterCard holder, do not let this opportunity pass you by. Up to 15% off. Taimajini. My friend, if I were you, I'd log on today. Log on to where? What is happening? This is what's happening. If you are planning a vacation, either solo or with your family, wherever you want to take them, whether you want to take them to see the Burj Khalifa in the UAE or the Statue of Liberty in the States or the beaches in Kenya or South Africa, and you have a MasterCard, you have an opportunity to get up to 15% off. Log on to www.kenya-airways.com. Make your purchase, make your booking with your MasterCard. Use the promo code MasterCard and you have the opportunity to enjoy up to 15% off. This is valid between the 1st and the 30th of June. That's when you make the bookings, but you can redeem the booking all the way until the 30th of December 2023. But you have two blackout periods, the 24th and the 25th of December. Whether it is a one-way trip, a return journey, a multi-city journey, it is applicable. And check this out. All Kenya Airways routes with direct flights have this offer on them. What are you waiting for? Log on to the website today. Once again, www.kenya-airways.com. Look for other trips that have this offer. Make your payments with your MasterCard. Remember to use the promo MasterCard and get up to 15% off. MasterCard, the safe and convenient way to pay. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.